All right, so welcome back to our tutorial where we are creating an interactive Java application that will be able to query a database, add records to a database, and also to update. All right, so what we're going to be doing in this session, we're going to look at how we may go about updating in the information that has been stored. All right, now to do this, the update is going to be built on the find that we would have done earlier on. All right, the find flame that we would have done in the previous session. So I'm going to just duplicate it and let me call this update flame. All right. So as we go along, we'll see that we can actually refine our code to make it more manageable. All right. So here is our update. All right. So of course, in order to do the update, we need the we need our find flame. All right. So we need to be able to search to find the data. So I'm going to change back this to find flame here. So the find part is needed. The only thing that is going to be different is that we are going to be adding a button that says update flame. So we're going to just add a new button and I'm going to call it update. And let's instantiate it. So the idea is that we're going to find the record, allow the user to change the record, and next we update it. All right, and we're going to allow them to change any of the fields. So good. So let's create an instance of a button here. So as a panel, let's keep all of the buttons together. That's for the listener. Right here. So update is going to be equal to new J button. So say update flame. All right. So also we need to add the listener to the update button. So let me update here. Also, we need to add the update to the button panel. Right, so our button panel is down here. Remember, initially we had 3 buttons, so now we have 4. So I'm going to change this from 3 to 4. So that's 1 row, 4 columns. And let's click, let's put update right here. All right. Good. So let's see what we have so far. All right. So let's also change the title from find your flame to update. Also, inside of our main menu, we are currently showing the find flame. We're going to be adding a update flame. We need to create the instance. So it's going to be update flame. me update. Let's call it up F. Equal to new. This creates the object and add it to our main menu. Let's just see what it looks like. All right, so this is our update film. It says update your film, and notice we have some additional buttons. All right. So the find should still work. So if you put one here and say find film, but if we try to update, change the year to 2022 and say update film, click back find film, it shows us the same. That means the update has not been configured yet, right? So we are gonna just make that addition so that whenever somebody clicks on update film, it actually update the record first. All right, so these are the buttons. So we have the update and the listener has been added to the button. So you just need to specify what should happen here. But before we specify what should happen here, let's look at the ConnectDB. So in the ConnectDB, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be creating a method that we can use to handle the update of the record. All right. So this method is going to take in 3 parameters, one for the ID, one for the film name, and one for the year. So updating specific. So the method will be called public void update. So we have the ID, which is int, the name, F name, and we have int F year. Right. So this method, once the data is passed to it, we're gonna just use these to update the record. So again, this is gonna be a database operation, so you have to put it in a try and catch. So we are catching is the SQL exception. And so I'll just paste it here. All right, so inside here now, what we're gonna do is we are gonna just create a query. All right, so our query text is just gonna be like what we would have done in the database. So we're gonna say update lim set lim ID is equal to, that is if we're actually updating the ID as well. So whatever you're updating, you'd have specified them here. All right, so the film ID would be equal to the ID coming from here. We just say plus ID plus, so the plus in this case is concatenating the ID. So it's making all of this into one text, one string. All right, so now the name, so we're going to be adding the name as well. But before we add a name, we need to put a comma. So we're going to say update flim set flim ID equal to ID. Then we are going to include a comma. And the next thing that we're going to be setting is the flim name. All right, so the flim name will be equal to, I remember the flim name is a string, so we're going to surround it with a single quote. All right, so this double quote starts here and ends here. So it has a comma, flim name equal to. This first single quote is for the actual name coming from here. So the name is going to be surrounded with a single quote. Now I'm going to concatenate f name here and plus the double quote followed by a single quote. So this single quote is going to be used to close this one. All right. Hope we're all following that. So we have added so far the flim name as well as the ID. All right. So the next thing that we need after that is a comma in between. So we have the flim name equal to whatever the name is. And now we have our single quote, comma. And the next field that we're going to be setting is the flim year. And the flim year, all right, will be equal to, into close quotation. So the flim year is going to be an integer, so there is no need to have a single quotes for the flim name. All right. So we're just going to concatenate f year here. That's this f here is coming from here. This f name is coming here. This ID is coming here. Coming from here to here. All right, so we are saying now update flim set flim ID to whatever the ID supplied by the user, flim name to whatever name the user supplies, flim year to whatever year the user supplies. And then we also need to include our where clause. All right, so in the where clause, we can specify now. So in the where clause, sorry, before the where clause, we need to put a plus here for the concatenation. Where flim ID is equal to the ID supplied here. So this is going to be like that. Let's see, concatenate ID. Now, if we don't concatenate them, if we surround everything by the double quote, the system will not be able to recognize the attributes that we have taken from part for the parameter. All right. So now that we have the query set up, the next thing that we're going to do is we would be executing the query here, just like we would have done before. So we're going to say st that execute update, and we're going to be executing the query like that. All right, so this query will be executed here. Now if there's an error, it will shoot out a message. Otherwise, if the update was done successfully, all we would do is just pretty much see the information change. All right, so 3 things must be supplied to update flim. We have the ID, the first name, and the year. All right, so let's look back at the query, how it is set up. So it's update flim set flim name equal to the ID. So if the ID was 10, it's flim name equal to 10. Sorry, flim ID equal to 10, flim name equal to whatever the new flim name is. And then we have flim year equal to whatever the year is, and so forth and so on. All right. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is go over to update flim And inside here, we need to check for the click of the update button. So remember, the button is called update. So whenever the update button is clicked, we want this method to be invoked. Right, so let's see how that would be done. All right, so let me make a copy of this because some of what I need is it. So I'm gonna check to see if the source is update. All right, so I'm gonna need the ID. Again, I'm gonna need fname. I'm gonna need also the year. All right, and of course, need to create the instance of the ConnectDB. And now, what we're gonna do is we're simply gonna use the name of the instance to invoke our method. I'm gonna say cdb that, you can just look back at it and see the exact name that we would have given to the method. Say it's update film. And inside of update film, we're gonna pass three things: the ID, the film name, and the year. So these are the three things that it takes. Good. So you can always try it now to see if it works. If it doesn't work, we'll fix it. All right, so let's check it. All right, so all right, so here's our window. So if we put one, find film. All right, so let's say I want to change this from graduation, say price given. So maybe it was a mistake typing graduation instead of price given. Click update film. All right, so as you can see, there's a little error that we're gonna fix together. It says that you have an error. All right, so the error is located in line 1. The find film is equal to 1. So let's just double check on that and see what the problem is. All right, so let me just check the ConnectDB. Make sure that we are good to go. All right, so our error is just a missing space. So this was joined on here. It should have a space. All right, so let's just check and see. Once we run this, all right, so I'm searching for record 1. I change it to 2022. Let's see, we change it to price given 2021. I choose update film. All right, quick and easy way to know if it worked. So if I search back for the same thing, all right, let's search for a different one based on what we have here. 987. Let's search back for one. And I realize that it's persistent in terms of, all right, so it would have changed. So we have successfully done our update. So we have looked so far as to how we go about finding specific record, how to display all the information from the database. and we just look at how to update and record a record. We had also look at how to add a specific other record to the database. Now, all right, so our main menu is in a bad state. As you can see, we have 4 different options here. If you can do the update, you can do the delete. So I will not go through deletion because it's pretty much the same idea as the update. So as you can see, if I want to see the add flame, I would have to comment out the others and uncomment add flame, and that would bring it up for me. Or if I want to see the view, I'll just comment it out, uncomment, and then I would be allowed to see it. Great. However, this approach is not ideal. And so in our next video, we are going to look at how to set up a very simple menu that we can use to manipulate or to navigate between these 4 options. All right, thank you all for watching and see you in the next video.